What's up, Unfiltered Waters family? I am so excited to say that our guest for this episode is none other than one of the most iconic legends in this sport, Natalie Coughlin. And I'm going to briefly run through a laundry list of all of her accomplishments because there's too much for me to write on this little note card that Katie had made, and they're very nice, so thank you for noticing. But she is a 12-time Olympic medalist. She is the first woman to break a minute in the 100-meter backstroke. She is the first woman in modern Olympic history to win 6 medals in a single Olympic Games. She is the first woman to win back-to-back gold medals in the 100 backstroke at an Olympic Games. She has founded her own wine company. She is the vice chair of USA Swimming's board. She is a mother of 2. And she is somebody that I have looked up to my entire swimming career. And it was an absolute joy, Katie, for you and I to sit down with her and see where she kind of sees the sport from so many different lenses. And she sheds light on kind of the state of USA Swimming right now and what they're going through and her role in that. But I would love to hear your major takeaways.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So backstory, we've been trying to get Natalie in person since trials. Yeah. Trials didn't, so it's like we start with being like, I wish you were here in person. No. We drank her incredible sparkling rosé, Gadirian wine, yep. Which we'll put in the show notes. You got to go check it out. It is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted.
Oh, it was fantastic. If it's summer, the one that we have was the sparkling rosé, like you said, and it's summer in a bottle. It's exactly what you would want on a nice day. So if you're of age, Gadirian wine, check it out.
Check it out. But yeah, I feel like it was such a unique interview because, we didn't roll through her career. We all obviously have heard a million takeaways. And now if you're in the swimming community or even if you're not, you know who Natalie Coughlin is. I felt like it was really interesting to, like you said, hear her take on being the vice chair of USA Swimming, being able to hear her perspective. And our whole goal in this specific topic was kind of, not that we're just going to align the swimming community out of the gate, but just be able to shed light on the other side. I think sometimes it's easy to get lost when you're in your bubble, not making the decisions, and it's easy to lose sight of the intention on both sides. And so I felt like people will really come away with understanding the true intentions of USA Swimming, which is to rock it out at LA 28.
Yeah. We all want the same end goal here, and Natalie does shine a light on that. Mm-hmm. And I do hope, like you said, Katie, that listeners walk away from this episode maybe having a little bit more understanding of what's going on, a little bit more clarity. Mm-hmm. Obviously she can only share so much with us. Yeah. But even for me, as somebody that is a lifelong USA Swimming member, I serve on the foundation board, I got a lot out of this episode and listening to her talk. And again, it just reiterates the fact that we are all on the same team here.
Yes.
And with the home Olympics now just 3 years away. God. Yeah, we need to be more united than ever. Yeah. And trust me, the board is doing everything that they can to make that happen.
Yeah. So. And you're never going to be able to make every single person happy. And people might disagree with decisions, but it gave me confidence in their CEO search that Natalie said, there's 3 candidates right now. All of them would be great leaders of USA Swimming. So that kind of calmed my heart a little bit. And then I think it was just fun to hear her talk. Just to hear her talk about her kids in a very true, vulnerable, authentic way. It was so fun to hear her thoughts on the 50s and some ideas of how to make swimming more, fan friendly. Yeah. So that was exciting.
We touched on a lot. And it is a side of Natalie that I know is always there. She is one of the most intelligent, well-spoken. She just gets it. And she's so well-read. And she's somebody that you walk away from a conversation with feeling inspired. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I think I just got smarter by just being in the room with her. You know what I mean? Yeah. She just has that. And she wasn't even in the room with us.
It was osmosis through the screen.
Exactly. But she is just one of the most impressive people, obviously, in the pool, what she did, but now outside of the pool and being a badass businesswoman, very inspirational. So I hope all of you enjoy this just as much as Katie and I did. And without further ado, this is Natalie Coughlin.
Natalie Coughlin, welcome to Unfiltered Waters.
It is so lovely to see you ladies. I wish I was in person. I just want to get that out. Like, I wish I was there in person right now.
We tried hard. I
know.
In
We
person,
did.
yeah.
We should have made it work at trials, but I was crazy busy. You were crazy busy. But it's lovely to see you guys nonetheless.
Yeah. Crazy busy, I think, is an understatement when it comes to your life, Nat. You are USA Swimming vice board or vice chair member. You own part of a baseball team. You have your own wine. You have a family. And I'll let you kind of lead the charge, Katie, but it's been so cool to see you flourish outside of swimming. And we'll obviously talk a little bit about swimming, but everybody knows you're such a legend. So do you want to talk about USA Swimming and get it started off the bat?
Yeah,
Katie?
but we have to do something first. So
I see something in the room.
yes.
again, so I have not had this. So this is, if people who don't know, and correct me if I'm saying it, it's Guderian.
It's Guderian, which
Guderian,
means
okay.
to gather in Old English.
Yes.
Because you gather with friends
You gather
and
with
family.
friends and sip. So I actually had I had the Cabernet during COVID. I ordered it right away and sipped on that, which everyone needed that during COVID. And then this is the sparkling rosé. And we thought, why not? Again, this is why you should be here in person, but we will cheers you. So I'm going to open this.
Please.
Oh, God.
This could be an actual disaster. And if the cameras go off, people, you know why.
That's why. She popped it off. Wait, Nat, while Katie is opening, I want to know, for you, what is the equivalent of an Olympic gold medal in your wine pursuits?
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, in my wine pursuits. So last year at Napa Valley Premier, which is the biggest industry event in Napa. It's put on by the Napa Vintners. There's an auction that Sotheby's puts on, and there's over 200 wineries that participate. And it's wine critics and restaurateurs and people from all over the world, but industry people, and they bid on special lots of wine. And James Suckling, one of the best wine critics in the world, outbid everybody for our Chenin Blanc, and he won the bid. It was the most ridiculous thing. We were so happy. That's our number one, pinned photo is my winemaker and my business partner with James Suckling, because we're oh my God, what just happened? It was just so exciting that he recognized that our Chenin Blanc, which is what we're really known for the most, that he recognized it, what we see in it, that it's a fantastic wine. And we were really, really, really proud of that.
Oh,
That's incredible. You've already had your gold medal moment, and I feel like you haven't even been in this world for that long. I'm curious, how did you meet Shaina, who is your business partner, and kind of get this ball rolling?
Yeah, so it's been 9 years, which is crazy that we've been doing this.
It's been 9 years? Okay, I take back what I said. That's
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our 9th vintage. So it's been a long time, but I still feel like a newbie. But Shaina and I, our husbands actually swam together at UC Santa Barbara.
Oh.
And so that's how we met. So we met when she and her husband got married and they moved back to California. I was one of her first friends, and she was really into wine. She wasn't even a winemaker at the time. And so we were just friends who went wine tasting, and we were both foodies and loved seeing, all the best restaurants in the area. And she started working, her first job in the wine industry out here in California was at Chandon. And I would just pick her brain. I would ask her 1,000 questions about what she's doing. And she ended up going back to school, getting her viticulture and enology degree at UC Davis, and then worked her way up because she's crazy talented, really smart, really good at what she does. And then after I, wasn't swimming after 2016 trials, she texted me and was like, "Hey, you've been like working on like your brand and like your business for so long. I have no idea what I'm doing. I know how to make wine, but I don't know what I'm doing on the business side. Would you partner with me?" And I was like, absolutely. Like I had no idea what the wine business was like. And I've just always been one of those people who kind of says yes to everything, like to a detriment.
Yes.
When you at the top of this, you're like, "Oh, you're doing this, 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 this." It's because I don't know how to say no. I'm working on those boundaries.
This is good. This is good.
But this was a good yes, and it was something that I never saw myself doing. It's been such a challenge. But I've learned a ton along the way, and I have this like wonderful product that I love sharing with friends and family.
What was the thing that surprised you most entering the industry from afar, watching it? Because I feel like you always were talking about wine and food, and that's something I remember about you most. So what surprised you most about the industry?
People are really flaky in this industry, and it's so weird. It is so, so weird. And at first, when like the first few times that it happened, where, a company or a restaurant or would say, "Oh, we want to buy, your wine. And we love that you guys are like two women in wine, and we want to support this, yada, yada, yada. We want to put in an order." And then they just ghost you. Like that's not uncommon. And at first I was like, "Look, I'm a tough cookie. Like you could tell me no, like no is fine. Just don't say yes."
Yes.
Yeah. Don't say yes and then ghost me. Like that's just so weird. So we learned that early on, that you just take everything with a grain of salt, and you just wait until you actually get that check or that deal signed or whatever. But it's been, that part was interesting. And then just, every year is so different. We have droughts, we have wildfires, we have, the economy. Wine is one of those things that it ebbs and flows with the economy and COVID. Like there are just a lot of things that you have to be willing to pivot and just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been through it with the wine. How do you climb the ranks as, somebody that now has their wine that's being bid on by the most sought after like wine connoisseur in the world? Like how does that happen in such 9 years is not long at all.
No. Well, my business partner, Shaina, is like, she's incredibly talented, and even though she's only been doing this for less than 20 years, like she knows what she's doing because she's made wine for other people for so long, and she's had experience in the Valley for so long. And both of us are just really hardworking, and we're like, we have a great product. We intentionally didn't name it like Cogland Wines or anything like that because we wanted it to be something that didn't come across as like just like an athlete or a celebrity slapping their name on something. Like I actually help during crush, and I help make the wine, and I'm like very, very physically, mentally, emotionally involved in this product, as is my partner. And I think just having our head down, working really hard to make a great product that stands out for itself. And it is what has been great. It's the business side that we've been working on, and I feel like we're getting better and better and better with that every year. But yeah, there are things like we another like gold medal of that is we're on the Wine by the Glass list at Bouchon. Thomas Keller, one of his restaurants in Yountville, like he's like French Laundry is considered the best restaurant in the world. And this is one of his other restaurants just down the street. And this wine, like it's been on their menu for quite a long time. And we're like, that's amazing that this, world recognized restaurant loves our Chenin Blanc.
That's so cool.
That's really awesome.
I mean, what a surreal moment to sit down at that restaurant and be like, I'll have my wine.
Yeah, do you do that?
I know.
Have you done that?
I have. And then, well, of course, because you have to put it on social. So you have to like put it on Instagram. Yes. So I'm like, don't mind me. I'm just taking a photo.
Yeah. Like, Oh my gosh.
Let's try it.
Yeah, let's try it on that note.
Yeah, pop that.
I know. Careful, Katie. You can do it.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous right now. Okay.
Have you seen Dumb and Dumber when they kill the owl?
Yes, that's all I'm thinking about right now. All right, I gotta go low and not towards you.
So, Nat, if it's colder, you said it's going to pop more aggressively?
If it's too cold, it'll like spurt all over the place. And if it's like room temp, it'll spurt all over the place. Oh, perfect.
She just did that
Perfect.
flawlessly. Katie.
Flawlessly. Okay, a little
Well done.
pour. We'll do a little test.
Next time I need to teach you how to saber it because that's really fun.
Oh, I've seen somebody do that.
I've
Yeah.
seen you do that. I can't remember where
It's
we
awesome.
were.
It's so cool.
I think we were at like some Speedo event and you did that as like on the balcony and I was like, I want to listen
It's a
to
fun
that.
party trick.
Yes.
Yes. No, I did not. But at the time, I think I was like 16 and I was like, probably shouldn't be, learning how to
Partaking in these activities.
Okay, here you go.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers to you, Nat.
Cheers. I'm having my iced coffee.
There you go. I mean, you're on West Coast time.
We don't need to tell people what time it is right now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Wow.
it's so good. It's so smooth.
It is. It's like that is just the lovely like lane by the pool, like perfect for this time of year.
Yes.
It's starting to warm up. We're starting to get outside.
This is summer.
Starting to have all the, Easter brunch. Like that'd be perfect for Easter brunch.
Perfect.
And it's like a bunny. Hold on. I have another question, and then we can move on from the wine.
Just the whole podcast is just about
No, I'm like so. I
am
love
too.
how creative and like this entire process is. So I'm trying not to lean away from the mic, but the mascot or whatever you want to call it is kind of like a cute little bunny with antlers. What is it?
It's a jackalope.
It's a jackalope.
It's a jackalope.
Yes.
And it's funny
bad
because
I don't know what that
I
It's
should
not
have
real.
had it here. It's not real. But you'd be shocked at how many people truly believe jackalopes are real. And that's kind of our like tongue-in-cheek joke. Like we have a stuffed jackalope. It's really cool. I should have brought it out. But we have a stuffed jackalope that sits on our tables when we do tastings, and people are like, "I knew those are real," and like really smart people, And a lot of times we'll go along with it. We're like, "Yeah, I know they're all over the vineyard. You guys have to be careful at night," and blah blah blah. It's just part of the mythology, and the reason that we decided to have a jackalope was just to show that even though wine can be so serious sometimes, like we don't take it seriously. Like we make wonderful wine, as you guys can taste, but we're not too pretentious about it. We have a silly jackalope on our bottle.
Yeah.
It's eye-catching. It draws people in when we're at tastings, and it's just kind of fun and fanciful. And jackalope, by the way, is part of American mythology. It's like the fearsome critters, and it's just really funny how many people truly believe jackalopes exist.
Wow.
I think you could probably, I'm that gullible, like nothing much has changed. I think I'd be like, oh my God, where? In Alaska? Like, I think I'd be like, go more.
Do they eat your grapes?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do they affect the harvest?
But there's something
we say
to
he
that.
protects our vineyards.
Yeah.
Oh, does he have a name? Do you have a mascot name? No.
Mr. Gadarian. I've tried to come up with like a name for so long. So if your listeners want to send in some ideas, I would accept them.
We'll do that's how we named our little droplet. Her name's Drizzy, short for Drizzle. So that's
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, again, let's just turn off the camera. I'll just talk more because I have so many more questions. But part of why I wanted to chat with you today, beyond wine and what you're doing beyond USA Swimming, is you are vice chair of USA Swimming, and there has been, for people who aren't in the swimming world, there's just been so much, I would say, turbulence and chaos since we lost our CEO at the end of the summer. And I think the thing that I really want to hit on personally is, I've been in the corporate world, and I think a lot of times when leadership has to make tough decisions or has to put up different communications or lack of communication, there's this lack of curiosity from everybody else. And you almost lose the humanity of leadership a little bit. You forget it. You're in your own bubble. I get it. But I think being able to understand that everyone's trying their best. Like everyone has good intention. Nobody wants there to not be harmony across USA Swimming and for us to absolutely crush it in LA. So I just want to, as much as you can share, shed a little bit of light of what the last, 6 to 8 months has looked like and just how difficult it has been to make some of these decisions.
It's been really challenging. I've been on the board since 2016, and just to remind everyone, the board, we're filled with volunteers. Like, this is a volunteer position. We are not paid to do this. We're doing this because swimming has touched our lives in some way, and we want to give back to the sport. And it's something that I never considered I would do. I never even knew about governance when I was on the national team. I didn't know any. I was so focused on, going to the Olympics and World Championships and all that. I never really thought about it. And it wasn't until my professional career was over that I got on the board initially as the USOPC Athlete Advisory Council rep. So I was like the liaison between USA Swimming and the USOPC as voted by the athletes. And at that time, that position was an ex officio, which means you have voice but no vote in the boardroom. So that's how I initially got on the board. And then in 2017 or 2018, we switched from a operational board to a strategic board. We went from like 35 people down to 15 people. And that's when I was first named as an athlete rep. So that was in 2018. And so I've just been on this as a way to give back to USA Swimming because I feel like it's changed my life for the better. I mean, I know it's changed my life for the better. And I feel like I have a unique perspective, someone who's been in it so long. And now I have 2 kids. They both swim. I'm seeing it from the other end of things. And my husband coached for many, many years, very successful club team. And so I feel like good insight to bring that helps complement the other board members. So anyways, the turbulence it's been a lot. It's been hard. So just so everyone is aware of like how things are structured, the CEO reports to the board. Everybody else reports into the CEO. So in September, Tim and the board had a mutual parting of ways. We are so grateful to what Tim has done for us. Like, Trials was freaking amazing. Like, that was his vision. And, Shaina Ferguson, to her credit, like made that a reality. Like, that was incredible. And it elevated swimming in such a way. And, SoFi is going to be the LA 28 games are going to be in SoFi because USA Swimming proved that this could happen. So that's pretty incredible. But regardless, we had a mutual parting of ways, and we thanked Tim for what he's done, and we're looking for our next CEO. And then Lindsay decided that she was going to move on. And so it's a lot all at once to look for the national team director and the CEO and keep the business running. Like, at the same time, like Shaina Ferguson, Michelle Steinfeld, our general counsel, Eric, our CFO, like all these people are keeping USA Swimming together and working their butts off. And we have to keep in mind, we're a nonprofit. We are not a for-profit corporation. And
people forget that.
Yeah.
People forget that. And the staff at USA Swimming is amazing, and they work really hard to ensure that we are successful at the grassroots level as well as the national team level and everything in between. So it's been a hard several months. We're so happy that we finally named Greg Meehan as national team. Technically, national team managing director is the title. It's a little bit of a mouthful. I think he's going to be fantastic. We had such an embarrassment of riches, honestly, on that end of incredible coaches putting their hats in the ring, and listening to their plans for USA Swimming. And so one of the things that I learned is like, man, we are in such good hands if we just tap into all the amazing resources that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have incredible coaches with really wonderful ideas. We just need to figure out a way to everyone work together towards this one shared goal of kicking ass in LA.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like figuring out how to all come together for that one shared dream and goal. So that's kind of, to borrow a term from our chair, Chris Brereton, he always says, that's our North Star. Like, just keep in mind what your North Star is and just keep aiming for that.
Yeah. And obviously everybody is aiming for that. So Nat, can you kind of dig a little bit deeper into how extensive this search is and all of the work that the task force and the board is doing? Because again, all volunteers, this is on their time. It's not like anybody wanted the outcome that happened a couple months ago. So can you just talk about how much work it truly is and what goes into now finding a new CEO?
It's been, more than a full-time job.
Yeah.
My husband and family have not been fans of how much I've been sitting here at my desk. But yeah, so we have a task force. New is the name of the company that we use to do our search. Is the 9-person task force initially. And what took so long in the beginning was the listening tour, like really going out there, asking our stakeholders, like at the grassroots level, like at every single level, what do you want from USA Swimming? What do you want in the next CEO? What do you want this direction to be? And so that took a couple months of truly asking the right questions from various people at every level of our sport and making sure that they feel heard. Because I think that's where some of the angst is sometimes, is people just don't feel heard. And so we wanted to make sure to take that time and to get that feedback and then have the interviews. And
what was the common what was the resounding, was there a resounding answer from everyone you interviewed of what they wanted?
Everyone is when you're at the grassroots level, like you're myopically focused on the grassroots. When you're at the national team level, you're focused on the national team level. So it's our job as a task force to, collect all the feedback and then piece it all together and find the commonalities. And so I think communication is a big one, making sure that we are messaging to our stakeholders, like what we're doing and why. I think transparency is a big one. At all levels, just again, what are we doing and why, and what is the intention? I think that sometimes has been lost, where just somewhere in our game of telephone, we're not connecting right. So working on that communication piece, I think, will be essential for the next chapter. But again, we had incredible applicants, and we ended up settling on our on Chrissy, and we were super excited about that. I think she was going to be a wonderful leader, and then that blew up, and it I have to be honest, that sent me into a bit of a depression because
I bet
we were really excited about that, and couldn't have seen that coming. So that was hard. And so we're back at it and doing our search again. I have back interviews tomorrow with our, next candidates. And
Matt.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But we're getting through it, and we're doing it because we love USA Swimming. And that's the thing. It's been very challenging, very exhausting, depressing at times. But we all have the best intentions, and we're doing the best that we can, honestly.
Yeah. That's very apparent. And like I said before, I think everyone has their tunnel vision. So like you said, at the grassroots level, at the national team, like I can't imagine all these swirling needs about, and it's really your guys' job to lasso it all in and then be like, okay, like what do we prioritize? What are the commonalities? It just seems like it would be like you said, depressing at times, overwhelming. I would love to hear, because I feel like I still don't know the answer to this. If you had to categorize the main job of the national team director versus the main job of the CEO, what are they?
Well, the CEO sets the vision of the entity, so USA Swimming.
Right.
So sets the vision, and it is the CEO's job to then hire staff to make sure that vision happens. So we are a nonprofit, so that's number one. You have to have those guardrails to make sure that we're operating within the NGB world, and within the nonprofit world. The national team director, it is his or her job to then make sure that they have a budget and make sure the national team is working as efficiently as possible. And it's like utilization of talent, resources, either financial or knowledge. It's making sure that everyone is getting what they need to be the most successful. One of the things that we heard over and over again was we need to have a really strong team culture again. One of the things that kind of surprised me in Paris is seeing people wearing, I wonder if you guys noticed this too, wearing like black caps in the morning sometimes.
Yes.
And you're like,
Yes.
wait, what the heck?
I was triggered. I was like, I'm sorry. Are we in prelims or in finals right now?
Thank you. Yes.
And for those of you listening who have no idea what I'm talking about, like it was like Bible. Like you have to wear a white cap in the morning and a black cap at night. Like there are certain things, and that sounds so silly, but there's something really powerful when you have a strong team culture like that, and a shared history of like, no, we're Team USA. We walk out everyone wearing the same thing, including, our caps at various sessions. They're just like little things that you do. And so making sure that our team culture is as strong as it has before and even stronger, like setting the tone is really important for that national team managing director. There are so many things that Greg is going to do that I think will be for our for the better for the national team.
I think we're in good hands with Greg.
We are in really good hands.
Nat, with the CEO search, like, can people almost be nominated, or through New, are they collecting these people and kind of handing them to you? And then on top of that, how do you personally feel about kind of the pool of candidates that we have, that one will potentially end up being our CEO?
Yeah, so some of it is, some people have nominated themselves, and New has gone out and found some really great candidates as well. I mean, the candidates that have come through have been incredible, and it's really it's just figuring out what path do we want to take as USA Swimming, and one of the things that someone along the way told me, and it's so true, you can't ever know the path that you haven't taken. So if we choose path A, we don't know what B, C, D, E are going to be. They're all going to be very different. And it's our job as a task force and then at the board level to decide which one. But, honestly, any of the candidates we have right now would be fantastic. Would be
Amazing.
Incredible.
Great.
And it's just different paths, Do we want to go down path A? That's how I'm looking at it. It's trying to stay true to what our stakeholders are asking for, and stay true to what I know, having been on the board for 9 years.
Yeah, I feel like they're all like, I'm asking the questions that I feel like I know are my questions, but also what people have said to me. Like, do you have anything? One, knowing that all the candidates are amazing makes me have a calm heart. But two, what do you feel like has been the most difficult part about choosing a CEO?
I am I'm like overly empathetic like to a fault, I think sometimes. And when you have so many wonderful people in front of you, but you know that one person isn't like the right choice for right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult to then communicate that. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
Um, it's just hard because we have candidates who are incredible, but I just, and it's not just me personally,
Yeah.
it's just like might not be the right fit for USA Swimming in 2025 in the moment that we are in right now, if that makes sense. Um,
Yes. Yeah,
it,
because
it's,
I feel like if I look back and think about every era, every CEO, we needed different things and different
mhm.
qualities from each one. So what is in your mind? Again, I'm not pinning this as you representing everybody, but like in your mind, what is the number one, I guess, quality or specific skill set that CEO needs to have?
They need to have the vision to continue to grow USA Swimming.
Yeah.
At the grassroots level, there are, okay, I'm a parent of two. I have a 4-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl. And there are so many options in sports now. It's not
Yes.
just, you swim, soccer, t-ball, whatever. Like there's flag football, there's lacrosse, there's jujitsu. There's just like so many different options for parents to choose from. How do we appeal to those people who may not think of swimming,
Mm-hmm.
or how do we continue to make swimming exciting for families? Not just, you guys work with the foundation or have worked with the foundation. It's, saving lives and making sure that people learn to swim is essential, right? Like, so bridging that, it's every parent's responsibility as a parent to teach your child how to swim. How do you bridge that and then develop this love of swimming and get them in the pool as a sport? That's a big challenge. So our CEO needs to be able to figure out how to tap into an already very crowded market
Yeah.
of sports at the grassroots level. How to continue to uh, revolutionize, maybe is the right word, maybe it's not the right word, sport, make it exciting at the other end of things, maybe it's a different format. Like one of the things that was so cool about ISL was just seeing this different format, seeing how swimming could be really interesting if you just put some gimmicks here and there. People just want to see racers and they just want to see excellence. And if we package it in the right way, it could be really interesting. And then I go back to Olympic trials. Like that was so
Sick.
freaking cool to
Yeah.
see people walk out with a 40-foot screen.
It was insane.
I was so
And
jealous.
they walk out.
Were you so jealous?
Yes, I was so jealous. Yes. I mean, I honestly, let's be honest, trials is such a brutal, brutal meet. I was so happy I wasn't actually competing, but
Also
been there,
fair.
done that. Yeah.
Also fair.
Yeah. Like I'm so grateful for it, but
Yeah.
I got that out of my system.
Yeah.
But how cool is that to walk out and see every swimmer in finals and semifinals, like on a 40-foot scoreboard?
Yeah.
That's really cool. So continue to make swimming better, more interesting for not just swim families, but for the general sports fan.
For let's say you're walking down the street and you see a general sports fan. What is your pitch to get them to come into a swim meet?
I would say, like, if you want to see excellence, and who doesn't love to see people at the top of their game? That's my pitch. Is we are Team USA. We are the best, like most winningest team, like in history. And why wouldn't you want to see that? Like that's so cool. And everyone has some sort of tie to swimming.
Mm.
Whether, they did summer league at some point. Even people who as adults maybe chose baseball or football or soccer or whatever. So many people have some sort of connection to swimming. So my pitch as parents, so a very personal pitch for me is this is one of the few sports where all of your kids could do the same thing. They go to the pool, they have their competitions together at all ages. That's one of the reasons I love it for my very young children is you go to one place. Like if you're in t-ball, one kid might be at one field at one time, the other kid's at another time. You never see each other. It's a full-time job getting people to and from. One of the cool things about swimming is you have the 6-year-olds with the 11-year-olds. And so those 6-year-olds get to look up to those super cool 11 and 12-year-old. And those 12-year-olds get to be mentors to those 6-year-olds. Like, I think that is so special to our sport that you don't get in other sports. You don't get that aspiration link between teammates. And you don't get it all in like one location.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot easier
true,
on parents than some of the other sports where you have to travel all over the place.
That's spoken like a very smart, efficient parent.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't have thought of that myself. Do your kids, are they aware yet of who you are?
I think my daughter is starting to figure it out, but no, like, yeah, no, they don't. They started to figure out that the Olympics are a big deal.
Okay.
And they knew that I went to Paris, because I was an Olympian, or I guess I still am an Olympian, retired Olympian.
There we go.
They understand that, but beyond that, they don't. Like, honestly, I was like listening to Miley Cyrus the other day in the car, and the Flowers cover. My daughter is like, "Is that an Olympic gymnast?" Because she's like hanging from a trapeze.
Oh, that's
I was
cool,
like,
though.
"No, but that's cool." No,
I love that
that's
you
not.
thought that.
I know.
Wait, Nat,
I
do
know.
you have like a vision, like you and your husband, of sitting down, Zenny and Ozzy, and being like, okay, these are mom's races from when she won Olympic gold medals? Like, is that a thing as a parent?
Yeah, is
I don't, probably not. There are times where I'm like, can't, like, she'll let me help her with her start, and that's it. Like, she will not listen to me. Like, she's one of those kids who's like, no, I'm like the best. Like, she's like delusional on how she's an expert in everything already. And I'm like, mommy was really good. I could actually help you if you want me to. And occasionally I'll work on her starts with her, and she has both kids have pretty good starts, which is crazy. Like, my 4-year-old's backstroke start is insane, and he like just figured it out on his own. Like, it's so fun to watch. But yeah, they haven't sat down and watched my races yet.
I mean, I can attest
I don't know when that will happen.
I can attest to your ability to teach a backstroke start. Like, remember when you had to teach me to do a backstroke start
Yes.
at a Speedo photo shoot because I couldn't arc well enough with her, and they were like, Nat, can you just like take her aside for 10 minutes and like help her get the right arc? It was like, it was mortifying.
Like, I told you how to do a relay start and how to do a backstroke start.
I told that story at the live show again, and she didn't know it. And people were like, wait. I'm like, yeah, I pretty much just turned to Natalie for anything start related.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad person to have like at the helm of anything. Like, I feel like as long as Nat is involved and kind of in charge, we're good.
We're
good, which is grateful.
I appreciate that.
We're grateful that that's kind of like everything that you do, and especially with the USA Swimming stuff. Like, I personally have a lot of comfort knowing that.
Yeah.
And especially kind of what you were touching on earlier, Nat, was the amount of perspective that you have from the sport and the lenses that you see it from. Like, not as just an athlete yourself, but a parent, somebody that's on the board, that's in the middle of governance. And it's just, yeah, like Ethan being a coach. You've literally lived almost every single,
like every angle.
Yeah. It's really nice to know. So people, we're in good hands.
We're in good hands.
It's all going to be okay. We're going to the North Star. LA is going to be amazing. I want to talk about baseball.
Okay, so this is, I feel like this is a bit of stolen valor. So the Oakland Ballers are, they're a team out here in Oakland because literally every Oakland team has left us. The Raiders have left us.
Why?
The A's have left us. The Warriors have left us. It's so sad. And as someone who's grown up in the Bay Area, it really, really sucks that like everyone has abandoned the city of Oakland. So the Oakland Ballers contacted me, and so I donated some money, and so I am a minority owner. But that's like all it is. Like I wanted to help support the Oakland Ballers and just bring back something to the city for sports fans.
Yeah.
You know, like it's really sad how, you know, Warriors now, they're still in the Bay Area, but it's not the same. Like it's not the same. And Raiders, like you guys know, I was a huge Raiders fan.
Yes.
Now they're dead to me.
Yeah. Wait, so who do you cheer for now?
I don't even watch football anymore because I'm honestly so busy with my kids.
Yeah. Like you won't cheer for the 49ers though, right?
No, I can't.
Not as a Raiders.
I can't.
Yeah.
I still a little piece of me still loves the Raiders, but it's one of those. I'm still, you know, salty.
You're still a little broken. They broke your trust.
I'm still a little broken. You know, they left the city
fair.
of Oakland. This is the second time, and now they're, you know, dead to me.
You were very humbly honest with that. I feel like you just be like, yeah, I'm an owner. Like that just sounds so boss.
And like that's so
like
cool.
I have to say, like minority, like very, very, very little. Yeah. I just supported them and helped promote them and donate some money, but yeah, I'm not involved in like anything beyond that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to hear more about, you talked about how, like, we actually did a podcast that's coming out tomorrow just about the state of swimming and making racing more user-friendly, making viewer-friendly. The 50s dropped.
Ooh.
What was, don't lie, there had to have been a part of you that was like, maybe.
Pure envy. I'm telling you, like, but like,
Purely
I was
envy
like, God,
driven.
if I was 5 years younger, like I would seriously consider, maybe 5 or 6 years younger, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll come back and try.
Yeah.
Like, but who knows? I'm envious. Like when they added the 100 IM to NC2As or to college swimming, I was incredibly envious. And then now with the 50s, I'm incredibly envious. I think that's awesome. I think we have to do what we can to go back to our discussion earlier, make swimming more interesting, you know, continue to challenge ourselves in how we appeal to the masses, showcase the incredible athleticism of our athletes. I was joking. I was like, oh my God, Sarah Hostrom is going to swim until she's like 50 now.
Literally.
Yes. And
Like,
can we blame her? No.
No, I mean, her 50 fly, if you have never watched her 50 fly world record, it's insane.
It's
like,
unreal.
It's like, that's faster than I went in 50 free, and I was pretty damn good at the 50 free. Like,
yes.
and she just like took off at the 25. It's crazy. So I think it's good for the sport. I don't know how we're going to fit it all into 9 days.
I know the
like,
schedule is
It's
going
gonna be like 2 weeks.
tight.
Eventually, at this
Yeah.
point, just 2 weeks of swimming.
SoFi Stadium, hear us out.
Yeah.
We're going to need you for a few more days.
Oh, and the mixed relays. That's another one I'm envious. I never got to be on a mixed
know
relay.
that.
I got to do one at Short Course Worlds in like 2015, and that was so much fun walking out with some of my male teammates on the same team. And Katie, you probably Beisel, I don't know. I think you were on this team too, where we first had the mixed relay at in 2007 at that duel in the pool.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
In Sydney.
yeah.
Yes.
And I was begging. I was like begging to be on that relay. And at one point they're like, you're on this relay. And then they took me off this relay. And then Libby Letton led off and then broke the world record.
Yes.
And I was so angry. I was like,
yes.
I wanted to be on that reel because she like got a drag off of Michael.
Yeah.
And
It was all controversial because like, did it count? Did it end up counting? I don't even remember.
It did not count. It did not count. And she was so smart because she dove in, got right on that lean line, rode that wave, so smart. And I was, again, envious. I was like, damn it, I wanted to be on that reel.
I know.
Before the world wakes up, before the noise, the chaos, the doubt, there's you and your breath. It's the first thing you control, the first move you make, the foundation of everything. When the work begins, your breath fuels you. When the weight gets heavy, when the pace gets faster, when the pressure builds, breathe through it. Because the ones who go further, push harder, and rise higher are the ones who never lose control. Legs burn, lungs tighten, the mind wants to quit, but the power just isn't in the body, it's in the breath. When the world says slow down, you find another gear. When they say stop, you keep going. Your second win doesn't come when it's easy. It comes when you decide it's not over.
Wait, okay, Nat, off the cuff, like what are some things that you think would make watching a meet more electric and exciting?
You know what? One of the funniest events I ever participated in as an athlete, and actually was really fun to watch the other side of things too, was it was a skins competition. So skins is, there's various versions of skins, but this one was hilarious. So this was in Edinburgh, and this was 50s. I think it was only freestyle that they offered this. But the first one you did in prelims, and so you just had to get, I think, top 8. And then the next ones were at finals. But the next ones, this is the key, is they were on a 2-minute interval. So it was long course. Oh. And so you had 8 people. And so they would say, take your marks, go. And so that 2-minute timer would start then. So then the 8 people would swim and they would go down to 6. Then you had to walk down along the 50 side and then get back on the block. But this is the kicker. They only gave you a whistle with 10 seconds to go. So everyone had to kind of count down in their head, like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And they would just beep. And so some people, so they would take your marks. There was no take your marks. And so some people would take your marks for like 3 or 4 seconds. Yes. And some people would come down and like nail it perfectly. And so as you go down from 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, and then 2, there's so much lactic acid buildup.
Yeah.
Like I saw someone take your marks way too long and then have a full body cramp and then like fall into the pool. It was so funny. And like as an athlete, it was so hard. It was incredibly hard.
Do you remember what meet this was?
Yeah, like what year?
It was in Edinburgh. And you know what? They did have this for every stroke, because I remember Tom Shields won his and he did butterfly. And so it kind of favored those 200 swimmers who have speed, but also have a lot of endurance. Right. And yeah, I remember I came in second to, it was a British, Freya
Anderson. Or no.
Hussall? I'm like blanking on the name. Okay. Right?
Halsall? Yeah.
Fran.
Yeah,
Halsall.
Fran.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so much fun as an athlete to participate in. It was really fun for the audience. So stuff like that makes it really interesting. And that's not just appealing to sprinters. Like I know that like a lot of these things that we're doing appeals to just sprinters, but that truly appealed to more of those 200 athletes. And it's something different, package it in a different way. So for the athlete, it gets, it inspires that like creativity and that fun side where you could just be an athlete and you don't have to do this 100 backstroke for the 1000th time. Yes. Like make it something different. But it's still it'll still serve you in your overall goals of at the Olympics or World Championships or whatever, but it makes more interesting to the audience and it's something fun for the athletes.
I
And
love that.
inclusive of, I feel like she and I had just been like, look, we get it. The 400 IM, the 800, it's so boring.
Like, it's not
we
fun to
understand.
watch.
You sprinters, you put the swimming on your back, and we understand. But I like this because
400 AM is not boring, Katie. It's painful and like the hardest event in swimming. You guys, oh God, I mean, I'm in awe of you guys. The 400 IM sucks. I used to be really good at it, and I made sure I became a sprinter.
Wait, when was that?
Yeah, when did you
Nat,
do the
were you in
400
like
IM?
high school? 400
In high
IM?
school, that was my first national age group record. Was 400 IM. I bet you guys didn't know that.
We
I used to be a
didn't.
distance swimmer. I tricked everybody.
She's strategic. Again,
Dude, she's
smart and
so
efficient.
smart. you
You're like,
guys.
Yeah.
really slowing up in the 400 IM now. Meanwhile, you're like, yes, now I'm in the hundreds.
I'm just gonna pop
Yeah.
off and be the first woman to break a minute in the 100 back. Like, no problem. I've got it.
Yeah. No, 400 IM sucks. You guys are tough.
Yeah.
Thanks. I know.
We appreciate. But to your point, I do agree. Like, for something like that, for a 400 IM or more of like a distance oriented swimmer, it'd be like, all right, like just get through the 8 people. Like all I need to get is like top 6.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then like as those sprinters get a little bit more tired, we stay
We're
a
like,
little bit.
yes, here we come.
Yes. Now I only have to
Yes.
beat one more person. Yeah.
There's
we haven't heard that
strategy
yet.
involved.
Yes.
Like it's so fun to watch and to participate in. And I think the more competitions that we are able to have like some prize money involved, because we need to have buy-in from the athletes. Like you could have the coolest format meet, but if you don't have the best athletes in the world coming to participate, it's never gonna take off. So there's everyone has to buy into it, and then we'll raise the bar.
Yeah.
So since you can't say no, could you please lead the charge on creating this format?
Yes. Since she only says yes to things.
I said I'm working on my boundaries.
I'm sorry. That was a test. That was a test to make sure you said
passed.
no.
You passed.
Yeah.
But in a world where like we definitely need to start having these conversations
It'd be
about
cool.
like making this sport more interesting and fun, because everything with the NCAA that like you and I talked about, Katie, I don't want to sound doom and gloom, but like we need to start freshening things up and making it seem a little sexier and more fun to kind of go and watch, and like ideas like this, Nat. I've never even heard of that. It's brilliant. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Why not?
And it's so fun.
And like you said, like go down the path. We won't know until we go down it. See if it works. So I'm all in.
I'm all in too.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go into our power play section, which is basically just rapid fire, but we wanted to sound cooler. So my first one is probably my favorite one, asking people this. Would you consider your red flag, and what would you consider your green flag?
For what? For swimming? For life? For what?
Life. Just like, so like, people are like, oh, that person, they do this. That's a red flag. So like, what would people say is your red flag?
Gosh.
And what's your
The
green?
red flag is when you meet someone who every time you talk to them, they're talking trash about another person. Massive red flag.
Yeah.
They're
Massive
like,
red
oh, when I'm not around, guess who you're talking trash about?
Yeah.
People like that.
What would people, or you would say your red flag is? What would people say
Of mine?
Natalie's red flag is?
Probably that I interrupt too much. I feel like I try to answer people's questions before they fully get them out. Like I that's something I'm working on personally.
Well, I haven't noticed it once this whole time.
I haven't.
Good.
I feel like it's also
Good.
really hard on any type of Zoom because there is that split second lag. I would say Todd does I'll be like, oh, you just interrupted. He's like, but I already knew what you were going to say. He's like, so it's just efficient. I'm like, okay, but like I still need to get it out.
I'm saving us time, okay?
Yes, that's fair.
Right. Like I'm like trying to guess what the person's going to say and just answer it beforehand. And
Yes.
that's horrible. Like I'm working on that.
That's I feel like we've all been victim of that, and we have all done that before.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, whatever.
Green. What's green?
Oh yeah, good. What's green?
Oh, green. I am very efficient with things. Like I like everything in its place, and I like having systems in their place. And a lot of times, like I'll figure things out, and Yeah, I like to teach other people these things if they work, but that comes across as a little type A and a little control freak.
I feel like you and Todd, you guys have, I don't even think you guys have met, but I feel like you guys would really get along, honestly.
Yeah. We've met in passing, but I don't know him yet.
Yeah, both. I mean, not the organization's sake, but he's like all about efficiency. So
yeah, he is.
Yeah, those are great qualities.
I love that. What is your favorite day of the week and why?
Ooh. Favorite day of the week is Tuesday because that's the first day of the week that both my kids are in school.
Oh, you're like, I can take a breath.
I know. My son goes to school Tuesday through Friday. And so, yeah, I'm like, Tuesday's here finally. Yes. I get a little bit of a break. I love them to death, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being real about that too.
We both don't have kids yet, and we both talk about how it's just nice when you hear the real side. It's not like you're saying, oh, like I can't do it, but you're not painting this picture of like it's a fairy tale.
No, because it's not. And people who say that are delusional. Like it's one, like they're amazing. Wonderful, and my kids are hilarious, and I love them so much. But you need a break. You need a break from them, and so that's why I look forward to Tuesdays.
Love it. Love that. No better reason.
All right, I love doing scenarios because I feel like it's very telling of the person. So you're at the airport, you're in the security line, and you know how you put your stuff in and it goes through security, and then there's people behind you and like people are rushing and you feel like you have to like sprint. Who are you? Are you the person that like starts sweating and puts everything on and moves fast, or do you take your time and just ignore the people behind you rushing you?
I am like somewhere in the middle, and actually like one of my travel hacks that I like to like be the most friendliest version of myself possible when I'm traveling. Like almost like I'm like almost like fake. But like kind of like the fake it till you make it, like overly friendly. Cause I feel like people when they're traveling are just so awful. And it's just like, in general, people are just awful everywhere. And so I feel like if I just put out into the world this like overly nice version of myself, it like comes back. And I feel like it has. Like I feel like security people appreciate it. People at, the coffee place appreciate it. The flight attendants appreciate it. I feel like it's overall a better experience if I like put that out into the world. So even though my demeanor is to rush and to be ultra efficient and to like yell at the person who doesn't have their shoes off, like what, like this 2001 was a long time ago. Like this is all what's happening in my head.
Yes.
But I'm like, no, be cool, be really nice, be like super nice to other people, help them with their bags, just because I just think humanity is awful when they're traveling. Yeah. And I think the more that we could do that, hopefully the more that happens in public.
Wow. Amen.
I love that. Yes. We need more Natalie's walking around the airport for sure.
Or just
but trust me, the inner monologue is like dark where I'm just like, oh my God, people are awful. But I'm like, no, it's great. No, I'm so happy to be here.
Amazing. I love this opportunity to have a 2-hour delay. How nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Who are you?
Yes, exactly.
I think I know the answer to this. So what are you out of the security line?
I think I take my time.
This happened. We were coming back from Miami, and
I was like ready to board, and I was still like packing my computer into my backpack
because I have anxiety about the people behind me. I'm like, oh my God, I have to get the laptop in, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like hadn't put her shoes on yet, and I need to be more like her.
I'm chatting with the TSA guy. All the buckets are like, yeah. I need to channel both Natalie and Katie a little bit more.
No,
I think
I'm much more like Katie. Yeah, but I try to pretend like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm still honestly, it comes from a place of like I feel bad that I'm holding the other person up.
No, for sure.
And so like, trust me, I'm not like, bleh. But yes, in my head, I think we have similar monologues of like,
yes,
yeah, no, yeah. Okay, Natalie, your favorite Gadarian wine.
Ooh.
Oh, that's like choosing like your favorite child.
I know.
The one, so when we're doing tastings, the one that I gravitate towards, like that I'll have in my glass is usually the Chenin Blanc or the Blanc de Noir, which is our method champenois. Like it's our champagne, but it's, from California. So it's sparkling wine. So because they have like wonderful acid, they're lower in alcohol. So I feel like I could like enjoy something without, getting a buzz when I'm like trying to lead a tasting. So that's what I will lean towards during tastings. And then from there, it really depends on the meal. I love our Pinot Noir. That's, what we made. That's actually, you're drinking our Pinot Noir, but just in sparkling rosé form. We make our Pinot Noir 4 different ways. So we make a still Pinot Noir, a rosé of Pinot Noir, our sparkling rosé, which is also Pinot Noir, and then our Blanc de Noir is Pinot Noir. So we do 4 different expressions of the same fruit, which is really, really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
I have so many follow-up questions, but we don't have time. So I'll just save it for when I see you in person because I'm learning that I don't know a lot about wine.
Yeah, and there's so much to know.
Different expressions of just one like Pinot Noir. Like we'll go down that road another day.
The science of it is so fascinating. Like it is so fascinating. Like fermentation is fascinating. Our Pinot Noir, we do a wild ferment. So there's just like wild yeast that's just floating around in the air. And we allow that to start fermentation for our Pinot Noir. And it just like adds this wonderful quality to it. So it's really, really interesting for the science dorks out there.
So cool.
You can tell her all the violin like things that I've learned about the violin since you staying here, and then you can swap stories.
I did watch your guys' Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and it was fantastic.
There we go.
I loved it.
Did you realize that it was
on
the live show? We said it was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but it was actually Mary Had a Little Lamb, which was so embarrassing.
I think it was the other way. Didn't you say it was Mary Had a Little Lamb, but it was Twinkle Twinkle?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like all of these like elementary teachers are screaming at me.
They're like, close, but whatever.
Not the right song.
Twinkle Twinkle and what is it? The alphabet are the same tune, right?
Yeah. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
I didn't ever.
Wow.
Okay. Again,
Nat, you're full of fun facts.
Musical theory.
All right, we're going to go into our final 3 questions we ask all of our guests. So the first one is, what is a moment or memory outside the sport of swimming that's brought you the most amount of joy?
Oh, man. It's really hard to say. Probably when I had my daughter, just like seeing her for the first time, you're like, wow, you're a baby that just like came out of my body. Like that's like the weirdest thing.
That is going to be our exact reaction. Like, whoa.
How did you do?
Yeah, and this goes back to what you were saying about how people sometimes get the fairy tale of like, oh, your heart, explodes into 2, and you just like find this love that you never knew. Honestly, I was like, what is this? Like, you're like so prepared for it, but you're so exhausted. And then like they put this like alien baby on your belly and you're like, what just happened? And you're like,
okay.
You're like, are you mine?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you're in shock and you're like happy, but like, you're like, wow, you're you. Yeah. Now what do I do?
Yeah. What's next? They're like, on your way now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Again, that answer could not be more comforting.
It's also so refreshing too. Because I feel like the 3 of us are all on the same page with that. Okay, so same question. Moment in your life that brought you the most joy, but in swimming for this one.
In swimming. Gosh, there have been a lot of moments. I mean, I've been really fortunate in that when you say that, I think of a lot of different ones. Probably winning my gold in Beijing, like defending my title for the 100 back it was overwhelming in so many ways. Like, have you guys ever seen me cry? No, I bawled my eyes out after I won that second gold because I was just like so overwhelmed with every emotion possible. So that one really sticks out. Probably that one the most.
Yeah, that picture is legendary.
Yeah.
Just like your lip all bloody.
Like, look at my legs. I have full. I don't know if you can see, but
she does.
No.
Just like, I remember
cool.
just being like, wow, what a badass. Like, you were in so much pain. You bit your lips so hard to try to grit through the pain, and now it's just like bloodied. I was like, I just remember sitting there like, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You guys
just
are
like
awesome.
defending an Olympic title, like that percentage of people just to make it to the Olympics alone and then to defend an Olympic gold medal is like peak. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was overwhelming and something I'm really, really proud of. And it's out of all the memories of swimming and at the Olympics, that's probably the most clear like memory that I have. Because you guys know it's like a blur. So
blur.
much of it is a blur, right?
Do you think of those moments often, or is swimming kind of just so far behind you that it's like
It's pretty far behind me, but honestly, when I went to Paris this last summer, it was cool to be back and to be in the presence of this world that I once, was very actively a part of. And when I did like the rock
on the
crew,
deck,
the stick thing, I got to walk the deck and I got to see, like old friends. It was really cool. Like I got to see Sarah Hostrom like right before 100 free, and I was like, "Good luck!" And then I got to give her a hug like after she
wins.
surprised everyone and won. Like I was like, "This is so cool." So it's like fun to be back and to reflect on like, wow, I was that person like on that deck. It was a really long time ago. Let's be honest, but it wasn't that long ago.
No.
So it's. I think about it now. But in like fond ways, but I don't like obsess over it like I once did,
Yeah.
Don't you think it is interesting how, at least for me, I sit in the stands or I sit watching on TV and I look at the people who are getting medals and I'm like, God, they're so amazing. And then I had this moment where I'm like, oh, that was me. Like it almost took me saying that and seeing that to have the realization of, wow, that was really awesome what we accomplished.
I did that.
Like, did you have that experience in Paris at all, or did you already have that appreciation?
No, I definitely had that experience in Paris. And just in general, you come back after Olympic Games and you could have a successful one or not a successful one by whatever your goals are, but it's still pretty amazing. Like you're on the Olympic team, and however it turned out, you're still like of the upper, like 1% of 1% of 1%. So it's, one of the reasons that all of us had the success that we had was because we dreamt of something like bigger than us, and we had like goals that were like insane. And so at the time when we're achieving these goals, you don't sit back and enjoy them. And it takes some years to have that appreciation.
Yeah. All right. Final question. What is a word that motivates you or inspires you or just reminds you of who you want to be?
I would say journey. And the reason, because I think the journey is what is so important and what you learn along the way. Like you have to have like big goals that, like I just said, like you have to have really big goals, but the path to get there is what is so important, and the choices you make and the failures that you have and the learning experiences are what shape you.
Yeah. Beautiful.
You're the best.
You guys are the best.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm actually in the room minus a glass of rosé.
Minus this. But yeah, you're just so easy to look up to, like so brilliant and intelligent and driven, and I feel like I can speak for everybody in saying that we all just want to be a little bit like you one day. So
you're amazing.
Yeah.
I love you, ladies.
Love you too. Thank you for taking the time out of all the many things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Of course.
Bye, Nat.